Good morning, Casa Kinder Scholars. Today we will be doing our Wednesday, May 20th enrichment lesson. For this lesson, you will need from your kindergarten reading comp packet, either the old packet listed through May 15th or the new packet listed from days 1 through 21. You will need your practice test, which we've already started the last couple days. We are going to be finishing our practice test, reading the whole group practice test story with the King and Queen. We're going to be doing questions 11, 12, and 13 today and finish up our practice test. Scholars, when we finish up this practice test, guess what? We will be all done with our Unit 8 first grade fiction element unit, and we will be completely done with reading comp. So I hope you are so excited to finish this last page today, finish up this unit strong, being proud of yourself for all you've done and all you've grown, and just keeping everything in your brain so that you can be ready for first grade. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Today we are going to be reading the story about it's not a king and queen. It's a boy and a girl. I apologize. I was looking at through the paper. It looked like a king. So it's a boy and a girl. We're going to be reading about them today. And looking over the questions, 11, 12, and 13, we're going to be talking about the moral. So let's talk briefly about what the moral is. Remember, the moral is the lesson the author is trying to teach you. It's not something that the author is going to say. Even though Miss T is going to read the story to you, I'm not going to really read you the lesson. You have to think about what you heard and think about what the author is trying to teach your heart. Okay. You're also going to be practicing a summary of the story. Remember, when you summarize a story, you're telling somebody about the beginning, middle, and end of the story. You're using first, next, and last to tell them about all the parts of the story. You have to include things like the characters, the setting, and key details or major events that have to be in there for the story to make sense. So remember, while you're listening, to be listening very closely so that you hear all those things. Because one of the questions is that you tell somebody about the story, and if you're not listening, you might miss some important information. You might miss one of those key details or major events. The last thing that we want to talk about is questions, which you can kind of see behind Miss T. You will be asking the author about a question. Questions help us to understand something a little bit more. We call them WH questions because we have who, when, what, why, and where. They all start with the letters WH. Questions help us to understand something a little bit more. And the type of question we ask depends on what we want to know. If we ask who, we want to know about the characters. We want to know about the people in the story or the animals. If we ask when, we want to know about the time or date. If we ask what, we want to know about an object or an action that somebody did. If we ask why, we want to know the reason behind something or the reason why something happened. And if we ask where, we want to know about the location. All right, now that we've had that little bit of a refresher review course, let's go ahead and listen to the story. Make sure that you are focused, scholars. Take a deep breath in. Ooh, and let it out. One more deep breath in. Hold it this time for 5 seconds. Let it out. Go ahead and get your head ready. Wiggle your shoulders around. Get ready to listen. You ready? Okay. Tyler and his mom went to the park. The park was crowded. Some kids were playing, but other kids were picking up trash. His mom said, "Want to help the other kids pick up trash?" "No thanks," Tyler said. "I came to the park to play." His mom said, "But it is important to pick up garbage so that we can keep the earth clean. The earth needs to stay healthy just like us." Tyler looked at all the garbage on the ground. It was gross. "Okay," Tyler said. "I want the earth to stay healthy." They got a garbage bag and helped clean. When they were done, the park looked great. Tyler smiled. Now the park was better than ever. What was the lesson that Tyler learned in the story? Use the sentence frame in the story Tyler learned. Think about what Tyler learned, what his mom told him, and what he learned. When you have an answer, I want you to turn to somebody next to you and tell them, in this story, Tyler learned, Go ahead. All right, come back to Miss T. You might have said something like, in the story, Tyler learned that it's important the earth stays healthy. You might have also said something like, in the story, Tyler learned it's important to take care of the earth or to appreciate the earth. As long as you said something along those lines, scholars, you are absolutely right. In this story, Tyler learned that it is important that we take care of the earth. The earth is where we live and we want to take care of it. We need to keep it healthy just like us. That's what his mom was teaching him, and that's what he learned. All right. Let's go to number 12. Number 12 asks for you to tell me about the story. So let's pretend that Miss T has never read this story. Never, ever, ever. I want you to tell me all about it. But since I can't be there for you, I'm going to have you tell the story to your mom or dad, grandma, grandpa, or somebody next to you. I'm going to read it one more time, and then I want you to tell them what happened in the story using first, next, and last. Ready? Tyler and his mom went to the park. The park was crowded. Some kids were playing, but other kids were picking up trash. His mom said, "Want to help the other kids pick up trash?" "No thanks," Tyler said. "I came to the park to play." His mom said, "But it is important to pick up garbage so we can keep the earth clean. The earth needs to stay healthy just like us." Tyler looked at all the garbage on the ground. It was gross. "Okay," Tyler said, "I want the earth to stay healthy." They got a garbage bag and helped clean. When they were done, the park looked great. Tyler smiled and the park was better than ever. Go ahead and tell somebody what happened in the story using first, next, and last. Go ahead. All right, come back to Miss T. If you haven't had a time to finish, go ahead and pause the video and finish telling your mom, dad, brother, sister, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, whoever's around you, the rest of the story. But we're going to go ahead and move on. So if you need more time, pause the video. All right, what happened first? First, Tyler and his mom went to the park and saw some kids picking up the trash. She asked Tyler if he wanted to help, but Tyler said, "No thanks," or "No way." Next, what happened in the middle? So after they got to the park and they saw the kids coming to pick up the trash, what happened in the middle? So next, his mom told him how important it was to keep the earth healthy. And Tyler agreed that he wanted the earth to be healthy as well. What happened last? What happened at the end of the story? Last, Tyler picked up the trash and was happy that the park looked so pretty or looked better than before. So that's something that you should have said. Let's put it all together so it sounds a little bit better for you. Ready? First, Tyler and his mom went to the park. There was a lot of trash and some people were picking them up. His mom asked if he wanted to help pick up the trash, but he said no. Next, his mom told him how important it was to keep the earth healthy, and Tyler agreed that he wanted the earth to stay healthy. So last, Tyler and his mom helped pick up the trash, and Tyler was happy because the park was better than before. That's how we summarize the story. We didn't read all the words in the story, but we did put the characters, Tyler and his mom. We put the setting about it being in the park, And we talked about the key details and main events that happened. They went to the park, they saw the trash, they asked if they wanted to clean up, they said no, they talked about how important it was for the earth to stay healthy, they cleaned up the trash, and in the end, they were happy because the park looked better than before. Very short, very quick, but included all those key ideas and topics that we've talked about. Way to go, scholars. All right, last question, number 13. What is one question you would ask the author? Think about our WH questions. Turn to somebody next to you and think about one question you would like to ask the author. Okay, come back to Miss T. I'm going to show you some examples of each question that you could have asked. If you don't hear your question, that is okay, scholars. As long as you had a who, what, when, where, why, or who, what, when, where, or why, that is perfectly fine. A who question, though, could have been, who left all the trash at the park? A when question could have been, when did they go to the park? I want to know if it was in the morning or the night. So when did they go to the park? A what question would be, what kind of trash was it? Was it maybe from a food or a toy? You could have also asked, what did they use to clean up the garbage or trash? A why question would be, why is it important to keep the earth healthy? Or why did someone leave trash on the ground? And a where question would be, where is the park? Where exactly is the park located? Like, is it next to their house? Is it maybe in Arizona? Who knows? So those are some examples of a who, what, when, where, and why question you could have asked. Again, scholars, if you did not hear your question, that is perfectly fine. As long as you were able to ask a question to someone sitting next to you that made sense and went with the story, that is perfectly fine. We will be working on asking questions a lot in first grade and building up our vocabulary so that we have a good understanding. So parents, although we are all done with our test today, because we just did our last question, scholars, it is important that you keep asking your parents about questions. So parents, when you read books with your scholars or watch a video, maybe have them practice a WH question that they could ask that relates to what they read or just watched, and maybe just have them kind of switch it up. A lot of the times they are interested in why or what. It's very easy, but make sure that your child has a good understanding of who and when and where and why and what. So maybe just having a good grasp of all the questions. All right, scholars, that's it. That is the end of our reading comp. That is the end of our Wednesday, May 20th lesson. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday and that it just is the best day ever because you are completely done with our packet. Tomorrow's lesson will be a little bit different, but I look forward to it and I hope you do as well. Have a great Wednesday. Take care and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.